guys, I'm telling you, looking back 10 years from where I was when I started, it's been just a night and day difference. It was absolutely worth the toil, the peril, the frustration, the sacrifice. Right. And believe in yourself and go all in.
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes Podcast.
If you don't have prospects, you don't have a business.
Yeah.
So yeah, overflow. That's everything.
So many facets to the whole sales process itself, right? How is that sales process run, and how finely tuned is that whole presentation is a piece. But I love getting back to the funnel because the math is there, right? And we'll talk to agents and they'll say, well, we can explain everything, the contact rate is this on these kind of leads. It's this over here. It's this on this. And they'll want to elect to go for the cheapest, I'm going to use age data. Well, great. But your contact rate is going to be 1/5. So you have to do, you have to do 5 times as many dials, and you work through all that. And it's like, just do the math. We need to do the math. Like it's so important. And maybe it's just one of these things where it has to be learned, because Jason said it earlier, you lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And yeah, I don't know. It's like,
it's frustrating.
I wish I could. Yeah. But I did the same thing. I think we all have, right?
Oh yeah. Some lessons can't be taught. You have to learn them. And again, I can think of agents that they come in with X amount of dollars. They're tempted of the cheap price for leads or the quick turnaround. They don't have to tie up a lot of money like with direct mail. Take some time to get your leads back. So a lot of money out of pocket, but those are the best leads in final expense. Right. So they buy the cheap leads, that quick turn. They don't pick up the phone as often. They don't remember as often doing it. There's not as much results out of it. Then they get demoralized of the leads, but then the demoralization seeps into the whole business. Well, what if this business is a giant racket? It's about buying leads. These people are making money off. So they turn to this paranoia. There's this whole mindset thing that happens where they just lose faith in themselves, the business, and they become conspiratorial about the intent of it. And it's all because they made the wrong decision. Yeah. And sometimes they don't know it. And that's true very much. A lot of these agencies push crap as far as leads go. But when in the position where the system is known, the variables are known, and what you have to put into it are known, when you choose the wrong thing, it can have a domino-like avalanche effect on everything. And that's why it's so important to do it right from the beginning. And humble yourself as a new agent to those who know better than you, because you don't know anything. You have to have
check your ego.
100%, man. Yeah.
It goes back to that mindset thing, right? It like you choose the wrong thing, it chips away at you, and it just alters your mindset. Then you're back to that scarcity, that whole, like they're out to get me. This is, it's a scam, whatever, right? All leads suck.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And then it's like, oh, look, mortgage protection. Oh, look, PNC. And then they go to that thing and then repeat the whole cycle of deprivation again. I hired a guy once that he had 17 years of experience, but no more than one constructive year of growth because he had switched. He was a ping pong guy. He bounced from one thing to the other. And he had lots of talent, but he never could commit through the tough times to grow. And as soon as things got marginally difficult, this thing's the new thing. I got to do this now. And it just, and he's not in insurance anymore. He never made really any money.
Man, the shiny object syndrome is brutal because it's all, okay, well, this isn't working. And then it's kind of like what we said before, right before it's about to work, the pain is so great that they jump and they go to the next thing and it just rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash.
I do have some empathy for this. Let me explain why. I've got a book up here. Highly recommend if you're interested in life insurance. It's called Randall Baskin is the guy's name. He ran American Continental in Nashville, sold it to whoever Aetna bought out prior to that. Rags to riches story. Guy grew up rural Tennessee, tin roof, abusive parents. Guy multimillionaire many times over. Growing Rich. It's kind of like Think and Grow Rich, but the title is Growing Rich. Randall Baskin, very good to get. And this is the point. He got into insurance in the 50s or the 60s. Okay, maybe it was the 40s even. How did he get into it? Did he have a bunch of people calling him and saying, I got 120-point contracts, got the best leads in the business, and he hear those calls every day? Did he see Craigslist ads? No. He had one choice. That one choice was the local office to go sell ancillary health products. He had one choice of who to learn from, one choice of what product to sell, one way. I think we discount how important it was to have those kind of not even self-imposed, but forced blinders on. Whereas now we're forced to be on social media and have all the gurus and the money man tell us how great this opportunity is and provoke our envy or jealousy or desire. And it's very hard to stick to something now. I mean, it is. I've even gone so far as telling agents, if you're going to join my agency or another one, shut my YouTube channel down. Because you don't need to necessarily hear from me or somebody else telling you a different way. It's going to cause that kind of confusion, and confused people don't do anything most of the time when they're saying do this or do that or do this system or that system. So I do have some empathy with where things are today, because
so much information.
It's too much. It's too much. And we have to, once you recognize that, you have to put blinders on. And even if something, and the thing is, most people who are entrepreneurs are optimists. So they see the value in a business that's not what they're doing. And as soon as things suck and they're being presented this, I think it's not necessarily as good as it sounds. The whole, the Starbucks way of making your coffee with all these options is not good for, stuff like this.
Right.
So it's always something I've thought about.
It's crazy because it was like early 1900s, the way it used to, I mean, a long time ago, even prior, but is that you would have to search out information to do something. If you wanted to do something, you'd have to find the blacksmith and then follow him, watch him, and you couldn't do anything else. Now, like, you can go on YouTube and learn how to do anything. Like anything. Now there's too many choices. So again, it's like, as soon as anything gets hard, if you're trying to learn anything, it could be piano or a new skill or, insurance, as soon as you're doing that and it gets difficult, boom, this is going to make it easy. This is easier. This is easier. This is better. Oh, okay. And then you just flip flop. And it's almost like an adrenaline rush, because it's like, oh, cool, new thing. Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy.
So everybody's getting really mediocre at everything.
A bunch of jack of all trades, masters of none. You can't commoditize eating shit. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, you can't turn it into a YouTube and watch that and say, well, now I know what it's like to get my ass kicked, month over month. Like, that's the thing. It's like, we've got all this information out there, and I think it's generally overall better than it is for worse, but this is a problem. You have options always. And I know I like options, and it's kind of weird to say that I don't like options in a sense, but there's just something you're not going to get by watching video. I mean, I do jujitsu, and it's funny. My instructor, he hates YouTube videos for jujitsu, because what they teach you is a bunch of new moves that you can never really apply in the real world. And it gives you this false sense of, oh, I've got this new thing in my tool bag. Whereas the fundamentals are, there's like 3 or 4 submissions, 2 or 3 ways to mount someone, 2 or 3 ways to take the back. And what you do is get good at those consistently over time. But if you get drawn down the path of all this, like this and that, and kind of making it a la carte, you never really master anything. And as soon as you're up against somebody with skill, all that stuff you thought you learned never really pans out. So it's in it.
It's usually not all this fancy stuff that makes it happen. It's the fundamentals, right?
It's the fundamental.
It makes me think of Indiana Jones, when the guy came and he had the swords and everything, and he just shoots them and walks away. It's like, just stick to the fundamentals. It's what works. And I guess just because it's difficult, right? To grind, but that's what does it. Like, nothing can replace that. I mean, we can do it faster now, right? We can talk to more people because there's dialers, there's all these other things. But at the end of the day, it's still some number of dials, some number of contacts, some number of quotes, and then boom, and it's done. So fill that funnel.
The one thing I can say on that, it's all about inputs. The serenity prayer, I'm beating this up. God, help me understand the difference between the things I can control and what I can't. And you can't control sales. You can influence them, but I don't know if this home I'm going in is going to be a yes or a no. But what happens is, what you can control is your mindset. You can control your activity, the door knocks and calls you make, the presentations you run. And what is day-to-day random, the outcome, over weeks and months becomes predictable. You can see a trend and a pattern. And then you can start to have an expectation of results. And so it's important, I think, to remember anybody struggling in the business is, soberly examine, are you really controlling the inputs maximally that you can?
Yeah.
And you have to have that faith in the system, because day to day it's up and down, but month to month, usually it's pretty consistent if the inputs were consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love
that. David,
and you are going to get beat up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's almost like hoping they don't say no when you go to close them. And it's like, no, they're going to say no. Be prepared for the objection, and then you can work through that, right? Like we talk a lot about on the calls with the PNC, like it's there 95% chance that there's going to be an objection. So now it's like, that's when the call starts, right? You don't want to play checkers with them. You want to play chess. They're playing checkers. So let them say that they need to talk to their spouse, and it's okay. Don't freak out. And we're going to work past that, right? That's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I know you get it.
Hope for the best, plan for the worst, right?
Yeah, 100%. But I'm real interested in what you've built now. So I'd guess you're not running appointments anymore. Are you still?
No, I've been out of the field since maybe full time July 2017. I've just been so lucky to build a great agency, and the income from overrides and other activities have replaced my income. So I've needed to be more present for my agents to support them anyway. So.
Yeah. So you're building kind of like, you have that umbrella situation, and you have, how many agents do you have under you? How do you find them? How do you bring them on?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I've recruited about 3,000 since 2013.
Woo.
I have anywhere between 150 and 200. And this is the real number. It's not who you recruit, it's who sells something. And that's always the minority. I got about 150 to 200 agents between final expense, Medicare, and some annuities that are writing business monthly. The vast majority of them come from social media. I pay nothing for my recruiting efforts. I don't post ads on Craigslist. I don't do any of that stuff. I just got in early with YouTube and other social media and put out useful content that actually helps agents, and just kept it up for years and years and years. And that's pretty much it. And people find my stuff on YouTube when they're struggling. Maybe they need some help with sales, that kind of thing. And they're like, wow, this guy's great. And they find out I recruit, and some of them stumble across my page and like, hey, yeah, I'd like to join. So that strategy is very simple. It's worked well. There's plenty of space, by the way, y'all. If you're listening, if you wanted to do this, you can still, there are people coming into this, even in 2021, that are building an agency with this strategy. And it's wonderful. The organic strategy is, man, I'm glad I went that route.
It is great.
Because guaranteed, if you're alive, you are going to die, right? And guaranteed you're going to, people are getting older. So it's like, it's needed.
Right. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, tell us what going into so we're at the end of 2021, whenever you're listening, but going into 2022, what are some things you're excited about? And what would you give advice to any agents about going into this new year? Yeah,
I think, we're facing tough times. I think economically, there's a lot of crap going on. I think if you've got half a brain to be worried about, but understand you are in a blessed position selling insurance. Especially, I believe, if you're in a senior market, people run to security in times of peril. If you're an agency builder, there's, the great resignment, or people are quitting their jobs in huge amounts. There's huge opportunity to recruit people. This is one of the best times to be in the business. Okay. Life insurance, health insurance. I don't know much of the PNC, probably pretty good too, but, find your niche, find out where your affinity is, where your gut says you should be, and triple down. And yeah, you're going to get beat up. Yeah, it's going to be tough. But guys, I'm telling you, looking back 10 years from where I was when I started, it's been just a night and day difference. It was absolutely worth the toil, the peril, the frustration, the sacrifice. Right. And believe in yourself and go all in.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you've been in it 10 years, but wow. So you've been into it 10 years, and that was right around your 6th year that you pulled yourself off to help your agents, right?
Yeah. I was probably selling 2 years, then started recruiting 2.5, 3 years in, then sold full-time and recruited full-time, build my agency for like another 3 years. And then, that's when I got out.
That's so cool. That's no time,
It's really not. Just you saying like, God, you've been doing this 10 years. I'm like, damn, that's a long time. That was quick. That's quick.
Yeah,
I remember when I started. Like, it was yesterday. It's crazy.
Yeah. And if you have kids, cool, it goes quicker.
Yeah. I got 4 of them, so I know.
Oh, just like Jason.
So do I. What are their ages?
David's 12. The twins I had twins. Well, my wife had twins, and I quit my job, and then when I failed, I went and got a job, quit the job, and then went right back to work selling final expense. So God bless my wife. The twins are 8, and then Ella's 3.5.
Wow!
All right, you're coming out of the weeds there a little bit.
Only regret, I wish we had more.
Wow. I have 4, and ours are 2, 3. No, 2, 4, 7, and 9. So we're still in the weeds a little bit with the.
I mean, that's so fast that you got to 2. Like, I remember when she was born. Like, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
And my kids are old.
Craziness.
16 and 21.
Growing up.
Yeah. I don't even talk to my daughter. I mean, she doesn't. She's like, whatever. Unless less money is needed.
Yeah.
Then you get a call. And I know she's not listening, so it's okay.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Yeah.
David, so I'm sure people are interested. Where do we see you? All over the interwebs?
So probably easiest place to go is just YouTube. Put in David Duford. You'll get an endless supply of videos with me talking about various things. My website, davidduford.com. Also, if you're interested in my agency, you want to check out what we do, I have tons of resources. In fact, if you look in the menu of the page, there's like a free link that says free resource guide for agents. And there's a bunch of helpful stuff there. No cost or anything. Check it out if you want some sales advice, niche advice, and directions to go. So check those 2 out. Good place to start.
Yeah.
Super
and
cool.
A couple books.
Yeah, there's a couple books. I have, let's see, it's been a while. The Official Guide to Selling Final Expense Insurance, The Official Guide to Selling Insurance for New Agents, and interviews with top producing agents. You can find them all on Amazon. If you'd like a hard copy, if you want an ebook copy, go to davidduford.com/store.
Do a reprint print and call it the all new.
I know. I've got a second edition pretty much edited. And
oh, cool.
I haven't put haven't gotten around to it. Got one of those things on the stack of stuff to do, you know. So.
It's better to have too many things to do than nothing to do, right?
That's right. Moral of the story today, isn't it?
It is the moral of the story. Make that plate overflow.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna be mad at you no matter what the situation is. So
yeah. That's true.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for your time, man. I know your time is valuable, and we really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We are in the presence of insurance legend, David Duford. And if you can't spell his last name, is Duford. Duford. Very easy. So thank you, and we'll put some links in the notes. But thanks, David. Awesome to have you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now. It's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's
Okay.
520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.